They call me Dan, the Lakers fan. And I got a master plan for the Lakers back to the promised land. Spread the vision through my people, cause we fans are equal. When we reach 20K subs, yeah, we gon' drop a sequel. Another Laker anthem track, watch me run it back. Got the keys to the city where my Laker jack.
What up, Laker family and NBA world? Wow, we waking up to a Woj bomb, man. Listen, everybody wanted my live reaction this morning, man. I posted, should I go live? I said 23 likes for LeBron James' birthday. Happy birthday to the king. First and foremost, before we say anything, man, he's 39 years of age. Can't tell, okay? But we got to talk about this trade because we just had our very first blockbuster deal. Well, not first, second, if you count the James Harden to the Clippers one. Second blockbuster deal in the NBA, and trade season has kicked off early, man. The New York Knicks and the Raptors have done something that, according to my friend who's a diehard Knicks fan, has been in the works for a while. They've liked OG Anunoby for a while, but the trade officially is Raptors trade OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, and Malachi Flynn to the Knicks in exchange for RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and 1 second-round pick. Now, this is why I'm super shocked. First and foremost, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I see y'all in here. What up, what up, what up? All my wonderful, beautiful people up in here chilling. First and foremost, I'm extremely shocked that the Knicks actually parted ways with Emmanuel Quickley. We're talking about a young talent who lives up to his last name, Quickley. He's so quick, shifty. He gets to the basket. He can shoot. He's had a tremendous season. And he is now headed to Toronto along with RJ Barrett. Now, RJ Barrett is a top 3 pick for the Knicks, and he was their golden child, right? He's supposed to be their baby. They're supposed to develop him into a star, and that never came to fruition. The problem with RJ, you know, as a like I said, the Knicks are my second favorite team, so I do watch him on League Pass from time to time. RJ was inconsistent, and so is Julius Randle, right? RJ, very, very inconsistent, but I'm sure it hurt them even more to lose Emmanuel Quickley. Why? Again, utility type player, man, comes off the bench as a spark plug, very shifty, very quick, and get to the basket. RJ, I wish he was more consistent for them. If he was, this trade doesn't happen. But they do land OG Anunoby, who's a very good two-way player, very coveted. They're going to get a head start in free agency. He does become a free agent to be able to try to re-sign him. So I like the deal on their side. Now, on the other side, right, because we got to talk about the Raptors side as well. And I want Knicks fans and Raptors fans to chime in if there's any at all, Knicks or Raptors fans, but you guys have to be legit, all right, that want to come on the live stream and talk about it and express their emotions. I will be opening up the lines for you guys, all right? But you have to have a camera phone or some sort of a camera, and I'll open up the lines and bring you guys in. But you have to be diehard Knicks fan for real, or Raptors. Thing is, for the Raptors, this to me signals maybe they're starting the rebuild process. Maybe they're about to blow it up. They may or may not start, opening up the market, and maybe they can trade. Maybe the next guy that's going to be traded is Pascal Siakam. Maybe Dennis Schroeder once he becomes, eligible for trade. I think January 15th. Maybe all these guys become available, but it could just be that they, maybe they were going to move on from OG. They didn't want to pay him this summer, and they wanted some young prospects. Regardless, man, I'm shocked on both sides of this trade. OG Anunoby, one of their most coveted wings. Maybe it's time for because Barnes has been going off, right? They drafted him a couple seasons ago. Very promising wing as well. Barnes has been going off. So maybe, they just want him to replace him already. Get all the minutes, give him to Barnes. It would make sense, right? But, man, listen, I called up my boy. Or didn't call him up. I texted my boy, man, and he let me go ahead and read off his messages. I told him if I could because this is a real diehard Knicks fan. What up, Jeff? He said, go New York, go New York, go. This was his initial reaction. I said, bro, what? He says, they gave up quick. I'm pissed. Now, you have to understand, Quickley is like our Austin Reeves. What Austin Reeves is to us Laker fans, that's what Emmanuel Quickley was to them. It just resembled hope, potential future star moving forward, and all this potential, right? So he said, they gave up quick, and I'm pissed. RJ was playing like ass, though. right? I said, man, it's a shocker, bro. I'm gonna go live to cover it. He goes, LOL, bet. It's not a shocker over here, though. He goes, to be honest, they've been talking about this trade for weeks in a bunch of Knicks group chats, right? So it made sense for them. They've been talking about it, and it came to fruition for them. Now, the Lakers don't operate that way. Usually when we talk about something that doesn't happen is always the stuff we don't talk about that ends up happening, right? He did say adding quickly was the thing that was being waited on for this deal to go through, right? And he also said the Knicks didn't want to do it, but once Mitchell Robinson got hurt, they had to find a center. So it makes sense because Precious Achiuwa was also added in the package, ladies and gentlemen. He also goes on to say, so they were forced to add quick in order to get back Precious. I asked him, do you love it or hate it? I have to get his opinion. This guy's been my friend since 2007, diehard Knicks fan. Again, I got a lot of Knicks fan friends, but this guy is the real deal. He says, I love OG. I hate quick leaving. We need defense. OG can guard perimeter and inside. Switchability with OG is going to be crazy. He can pick up Brunson and Randall's defensive slack by himself, he says. And Precious gives us high energy. Big man. The only big we had was Hartstein and old-ass Taj Gibson. He said, I don't think the Knicks are done, though. And this is where he got interested. And again, I asked him for permission if I can quote his text message. So shout out to my brother, Lou. He says, I don't think the Knicks are done, though. The other rumor is Evan Fournier and Quentin Grimes for DeMar DeRozan, allegedly. And he ends off by saying, and if that happens, then trading RJ makes sense because he's just a younger DeRozan. So that's a diehard Knicks fan starting to warm up to the idea. Obviously, initially, it hurt them that they got rid of quickly, and I'm sure a lot of Knicks fans are going to feel the same way. Raptor fans, where y'all at, though? Listen, if there's some real diehard Knicks or Raptors fans, y'all want to come here and chime in, there's the link right there in the comment section. Let's read some comments from this side over here. My guy said, RJ will be my price pick ticket again. Yeah, you have to think RJ's going back to his hometown in Canada, man. He's probably going to love this trade as well. He gets to play in front of family and friends. So I think this trade actually works out for both sides. That's my overall perspective on it. OG Anunoby's a heck of a ball player. I know it sounds like on paper it looks like they gave up a lot, but I think they were pretty smart. Like quickly, this is probably the peak as far as sell high, buy low type thing. If he pans out, then it was a steal for the Raptors. If he doesn't pan out, then I think it will be a steal for the Knicks. Regardless, we know what OG is, and he's an OG for sure. New York was smart as hell getting this done before other teams could bid. You know, like I said, I agree with you, Jeff. I think New York really wins this trade in the long run. They got Brunson balling the heck out. You got Julius Randle, who I think is better suited as a third option. Now, I'm not saying OG will step up and be the second or first option, but I do think he's definitely a part of their big three, regardless of the pecking order. And, they got a third piece, which they've been needing, and a two-way player, which really fits Thibs' system, all right? Tom Thibodeau is definitely, a great coach for these type of grinded-out players for sure. Hey, it looks like we got I'm not sure if he's a Knicks or a Raptors fan, but my guy Shan, what's up, bro?
Yeah, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you feeling about this trade, man?
I think it's good for both teams, man. I think RJ Barrett, we forget that some players get hyped up when they get to go play for their hometown, man. This is probably the most notable player I think Toronto has gotten that's from the city. And I think this is a good thing for them. They get to kind of do somewhat of a mini rebuild. Well, not rebuild, but they get two decent young killers, and they get I didn't feel like the Knicks had a real true wing. I felt like they had a bunch of small guard. They had a bunch of guards that are shifty, but they played out of their position. So I think this is a great trade for both of them, in my opinion.
Yeah. And we're talking about OG Anunoby, man.
Yeah.
Usually when you look at a trade, you look at who the biggest piece was, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at both sides, clearly OG is the best player in this trade. So then, if you go by that standard, you would say the Knicks won. However, the fact that the Knicks gave up a top 3 pick they had drafted and were high on and still showing a lot of flashes of potential, but not necessarily consistently in RJ. And then you gave up quickly, who ended up being a late, I believe it was a late first round pick steal, and a second round pick. They did pay a lot. However, OG, in my opinion, is worth it, right? You're talking about a player who can guard multiple positions. You're talking about a player that can switch. You're talking about a player who's athletic, a good size, and can do a little bit of everything, including scoring.
Yeah.
Would you say that, would you say that most of the times the team that got the best player wins the trade?
Depends, man. Sometimes I feel like especially if you overpay for a player, I'm not gonna name names, but we recently had an incident like that, where it pan out, where like certain trades, you get like a big contract, and then you have to give up pieces, and that certain players don't fit with your roster. Like I feel like it is if they fit with your team. If they don't fit with your team, won't turn out as well as you'd hope. So I mean, it's all about fit and basically timeline. Like even with a guy like Donovan Mitchell for the Cavs, bro, I don't think that's necessarily what they need, because I felt like him and Darius Garland kind of cancel one another out because they're similar players and they both are small guards. They're not like lockdown defenders. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah, yeah.
Donovan
No,
Mitchell.
no, definitely. Both of those players are on-ball players, so
Yeah,
they're the best options with the ball in their hands. I actually like Darius Garland, not more than Donovan, but I like him because I feel like he's more of a playmaker, while Donovan Mitchell is more of a bucket getter.
yeah.
So it really depends how you're constructing your team. I agree, bro. I think
Mhm.
it's too early to tell who won this trade, but I really like how much better the Knicks get as far as you're getting OG. You have Jalen Brunson in place. You have Julius Randle. Now, do you think there's going to be a subsequent trade,
Yeah.
to this one for the Knicks and
Yeah.
the Raptors?
Now, I mean, I was actually shocked they didn't give up Siakam, but here's my thing. Like, I've been on this show before. We all know I'm a Laker fan, right? And I'm saying this honestly because you think that, like, I look at this trade for like you get OG Anunoby, and like the thing that really kind of pisses me off a little bit, right? Remember that report where they said OG he gonna like cost 4 or 5 first round picks? They were trying to oversell, and then like you get decent players, but you get like 1 round pick, and it honestly, man, it just shows that like the Laker tax is big, man. If this
Oh
was
yeah.
the Lakers, we have to give up everything, bro, for this player. Like so that's the only thing that pissed me off. But do you think that you could do this trade if you're Lakers? And it's something I've been thinking of for a little bit, and it actually make like a little bit of sense. Is like D'Lo and Rui, as much as it's sad as it would be for like a guy like Pascal Siakam. What do you think about that move?
I really like Pascal Siakam. Rui and D'Lo, I love Rui, but if it's Spicy P we can land, bro, I think I'd do it.
Yeah,
Spicy P is again another two-way player who is at the peak. He's at the prime of his career right now. I definitely would love to acquire a piece like that. We know what Rui could become. However, is he going to become that for us, playing under Darvaham's system with the limited minutes and basically undefined roles? So
yeah.
a lot of questions on that, man.
Basically, yeah. One more comment on that. I feel like another thing we could do too is like you get OG for like God, like we could not OG, but like I say that this makes sense because I think the reason why I say that, right, is because
Right.
one of the most biggest criticisms for AD is like he doesn't have is that like sometimes he gets worn out playing center. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think it doesn't matter what position he plays. I feel like he just needs a guy who could do some of the dirty work. And what thing with Siakam is he's a mismatch for any big man. He could shoot the ball, create a shot. And I feel like what we forget is Siakam was able to lock it. Well, he made it really hard on Giannis and Embiid, and he's a champion, bro. Like you
Yeah.
get championship DNA. And like Rui, I really feel like he could reach his potential in Toronto because they got a great development team. And then I'd say
Yeah.
another move you could do is Gabe Vincent I think they got like Chris Boucher, who's kind of a big you could throw off the bench,
Yeah.
You can
Well,
get
my guy Empire Jeff seems to think that they're about to go on a fire. So he said Trent, Spicy P, and Dennis all probably out of there. So yeah, I think teams are gonna start picking up the phone and making those phone calls, brother. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna get good. But the first needle dropped today, and OG, I was again really shocked. I thought he was a part of the future, and like you said, they were really had him as a sell high candidate, right? Multiple first round picks in this and whatnot, right? So yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward. Thanks so much for tapping in, my guy Shan, coming in on the ones and twos. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, man.
Oh, listen, fam. And feel free if there's any Knicks fans and Raptor fans that want to chime in. I see my guy right here that said OG is overrated. We gave up too much. Okay, so I'm pretty sure a lot of Knicks fans feel this way simply because, like I said, there's a huge attachment to Emmanuel Quickly, and rightfully so. This dude was a heck of a ball player. Say RJ Barrett, also a hooper, inconsistent, sure, but can he, can he get buckets? Abso-freaking-lutely. And at times he can lock in on the defensive end. So yeah, you're talking about two pieces that they were extremely attached to, and this would be the equivalent of us like trading, let's say, Austin Reeves and Rui. How would Laker fans have felt if we traded Austin Reeves and Rui for OG Anunoby? This is the equivalent of that. Two prospects, two up-and-coming pieces who have shown flashes, traded for a pretty much a solidified rotational player, starting caliber player. I think that would be the equivalent there. So I get the frustrations, Knicks fans, but I think you guys are really gonna love OG, especially under Tom Thibodeau. And you guys get out ahead of the curve to sign him in long term. I believe he's gonna love it in New York. I don't think he goes anywhere. You guys will have his bird rights, all that good stuff, man. But let's see. Let's read a couple comments here. And again, any Knicks fans, Raptors fans want to chime in? There's a link right there. There is a link. Okay. Go get him, Pirtle and Siakam for D'Lo, Rui, Max, and a pick. Now we're talking. Juan. Listen, that would be awesome, right? That would be awesome. A trade like that definitely moves the needle for the Lakers. We would be giving up a lot. We're also giving up a very solid piece that consistently is going to put up doubles. Consistently, like my guy Shan said, the previous caller. He's a dirty work type player, which would fit hand in hand with what the Lakers like to do alongside Anthony Davis. So yeah, for sure that would be solid. Hey, salute. Good morning, guys. Let's see, my guy. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? He said, if P goes anywhere, I'd want him on the Lakers. Me too. That's a player I think a lot of Laker fans have been salivating over as far as his skill sets for years, for a lot of years. And if it's true that all these players are on the market now, because yeah, it's like they're starting from scratch if you're trading for guys like Quickly and RJ. Because OG was a little bit more seasoned and more ready to go. So for sure, this signifies to the rest of the league that, hey, maybe you can poach a couple of these players away from them for either draft picks, young pieces, or rotational pieces. I'm not sure what Toronto's looking for. But I will say this, Masai Ujiri is very tough to deal with because he's very savvy and very intelligent. Look, if he was going to trade OG Anunoby, he got the absolute best package he could. I don't think you could have topped Emmanuel Quickly, a second-round pick, and RJ Barrett. I don't think you could have topped that. Like, you really got key pieces from those Knicks, right? So, and young pieces at that. So it fits their future timeline with Scotty Barnes. It just goes. It goes if you think about it. Now they got a very young, scary team. And you have to wonder, because Dennis no longer fits in that. Could the Lakers get in on Dennis again, right? Would Laker fans even be interested in Dennis? That is all interesting. Hey, what up, Ange? I think it was good for both teams. Yeah, you know what? I do too. I like the trade for both sides. I think eventually they will both be winners. Maybe not right off the bat, but eventually I think they will both be winners, especially if those young Toronto pieces end up developing, right? We're talking about RJ and Quickly because they're now Toronto Raptors. Sounds weird to say RJ Barrett is a Toronto Raptor, but he goes back to his hometown. He goes back to his country, and he's going to truly enjoy that. D'Lo for Colin Sexton. Man, I really like Colin Sexton as a two-way prospect, two-way player, man. We know he's very willing and able to play defense. Yeah, that's definitely something I'd consider. What do you guys think of that? Interesting, right? Don't want Rui to be traded. Me either, Angel, but it seems like if we want certain pieces to come back, he might have to be dangled. I hope we can go around trading Rui. That would be great because I think he has a bright future, especially once guys start retiring. I think he'll get more minutes and more touches, and you'll really see him shine. So that's the scary part about trading like a Rui Hachimura. It's all about the coaching staff, though, and what they decide to do. If they tell the front office, look, he's a part of our future, we have big plans for him, maybe they won't trade him. So we'll see. But I do believe a lot of teams are going to come calling, and if the Lakers figure they get some pieces in return for a couple of players like that, then they might go. My guy EP Jeff said Trent and Siakam are both free agents to be like OG was. Then moving their aspiring guys for cheaper deals and longer deals seems to be the plan in Toronto. Quickly is restricted free agent. Yeah, man. Look, listen, they got a plan for sure moving forward, and they seem to start executing it early on, even before 2024. So it got interesting. It just got real interesting. And let's see what happens, man, with those other players you mentioned, because I like Gary Trent Jr. as well. I like Siakam. I mean, they got a lot of pieces that a lot of teams, I'm sure, are going to be interested in. So who won the trade? Just joined. You know what, Daniel? Good question, bro. Good question. Again, I believe both teams kind of came out even. Now, time will tell. You can never really tell who wins the trade right off the bat unless it's super lopsided. This one wasn't lopsided. Clearly, the Knicks get the best player in the deal as far as like ready now. He's about to do some stuff, man. But they gave up a lot to get him. They sure did. Quickly is no slouch, and neither is RJ Barrett. You're also giving up a pick. So you do give up a lot. However, I believe he's worth the price of admission at the end of the day. So it's hard to say who won. I'm leaning right now Knicks. I'm leaning Knicks because they want to win now, right? Versus Toronto, who might start the rebuild process, or should I say retool, whatever they want to call it, right? They don't have to rebuild. They already got young pieces in place like Barnes, right? Like Scotty Barnes. So they don't have to rebuild per se, but they might want to start fresh with some younger pieces, right? To surround Scotty Barnes with. My guy Diesel said, what's the best trade for the Lakers, DTLF, realistically, though? Best trade for the Lakers, bro? I'd have to say best trade for the Lakers, personally, me, I would love to go out and get a star player like Donovan Mitchell. That's just personally me. I know that's not realistic. So then I'm going to shift over to the next best thing. And I think the Lakers should go out and grab a big man, right? A big man, a backup big who can do some dirty work, right? Who comes to mind in that scenario? They've talked about several pieces. I mean, who? Drummond has come to mind a lot to a lot of fans. Andre Drummond, if you can get him cheap, especially if the Chicago Bulls go in a similar route and start a fire sale. Also, obviously, Caruso makes a lot of sense, even though he's not center. Who else comes to mind as far as the backup big? Some people have mentioned Kelly Olynyk. That's not a bad piece either. I mean, there's a lot of pieces out there to be had, fam, and we're gonna fire up the trade machine real soon. I've got videos dropping on that as soon as the trade deadline approaches. But there's just so many pieces. I mean, DeJounte Murray is also available. I mean, who do you guys like? Who do you guys like? My guy said, I'm a Raptors fan. I really like Quickly, yet I don't know about RJ Barrett. Plays too similar to Scotty. RJ is a hooper, man. I think I see Scotty more as a small forward, while RJ is a shooting guard for sure. He's a combo guard, come off of screens, knock down shots. Very tough player. Can play defense. Doesn't always play defense, but can play defense. You guys are gonna like him, and he's from there, so I think you guys are really gonna like him. Now, as far as Quickly might get an upgrade. If I'm the Raptors, I trade or I bench Dennis Schroeder. I always thought he was a better bench player, anyways. And I'm giving the reins to Quickly as a point guard already because I see that type of potential in him. I think he plays big time, and he showed flashes of brilliance already. My guy said OG is at a ceiling already. The Knicks didn't get better. Well, man, I disagree with that. I do believe that OG is he might be at a ceiling. He might get a little bit better depending on the system, but I do believe the Knicks got better. Now, they're gonna have to figure something out because they did trade RJ Barrett, and they got to get, like my good friend said, they got to get another player to replenish that position. But if there's subsequent trades coming, then I think Knicks fans will be pretty pleased with what OG brings for sure. But I understand the pain. Trust me, man. I would have been really disappointed if the Lakers traded Austin Reeves in a package. As much as I like OG and Anunoby, like I get it, Knicks fans. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I get the frustration. But I think at the end of the day, you guys are gonna end up loving this kid, man. OG, and he's very coveted for a reason, right? A lot of teams, I'd say all other 29 teams in the NBA would love OG and Anunoby. And if for whatever reason it's not working out for the Knicks in these, the span of these next 2 months or so, or month and a half before the trade deadline, you guys can flip them and get a big package in return. Simple as that. Yeah, happy birthday to King James, man. King James turning 39, although he's still playing like he's 29. See, Nick fans not happy about this. I get it, bro. He said, quickly will be the best player in that deal. Watch. He could be. He very well could be. If he develops to be what we all have thought he's going to be from the moment he came into the league and showed flashes of brilliance, and you might be right. At the end of the day, you might lose a trade. But for now, it's pretty even, right? It's pretty even. But I get it. Quickly is a hell of a ball player. I love what I saw from him when he came to face my Lakers and you guys beat us, man. He was tremendous, unfortunately for us, right? But yeah, man, I know it hurts. I know it hurts, especially when you let's say you're a Knicks fan or a Laker fan or whatever. You grow such attachment to these players, and then they wow you and they ooh and they ah, with their play style, and then just like that, ripped away, fam. Just like that. That's the reality in the NBA. It's a business, and if the Knicks want to be in the business of winning, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, right? But my guy said Thibs held him back a lot. Yeah, I've heard that complaint as well. Trust me, even as a Laker fan, we always hear how Darvin Ham is holding back certain players and all of this. But at the end of the day, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, man. I'm pretty sure if Rui went to another team, like an up-and-coming team, like the Jazz or somebody, and they started him, he would put up big numbers. I'm talking anywhere between 15 to 20. Because he's that nice. He's got a midi. He turn around jump shot. He can finish with either hand. He's athletic. He can rim run. I mean, those type of players can fill it up big time. And then people would be like, oh, we made a mistake in this and that. But you always have to look at the situation. Sometimes the situation is just not right. I feel like we got Malik Monk a year too early. If we would have got him, after we became contenders again, after we traded Russell Westbrook and all of that, then we would have been a problem because Malik Monk is an absolute problem. Y'all see what he does for Sacramento. Like, I still feel like we need a combo guard like that who comes off the bench and does serious savage work, man. But again, just wanted to chime in, y'all, on this trade. I will be dropping my live reactions to these trades as long as y'all want them, man. Make sure to hit that like button, man. Super chats are available again, so if y'all want to support the channel, that's there. Subscribe if you already haven't because we're close to 24K. And major shout out to my sponsorship. I will be back today for pregame. I'm not sure what time yet. Probably, sometime in the afternoon. Pregame is early. So I got you guys with pregame on the Lakers versus Timberwolves. Sounds like LeBron James is out with a non-COVID related illness. So that's unfortunate. But we're going to break it all down later on. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Again, the trade season is underway. So expect to see this guy on here a lot more. All right. Take it easy. See you guys later. All right. Peace.